Hey,
Hi, John.
hey, hi, how are you?
I'm good. Uh, I was very proud of my last second private chat message.
Yeah.
You were not that excited about it.
I am furiously trying to prepare for this episode.
Oh, you're not ready.
Enter license number. Yep, we're
I didn't
just
say that. John is, um, what would be a nice way to say not ready? John is
just in time.
just in time. Yes. Um, do you want me to talk
I
a
did it.
bunch?
Nope, I did
You
it.
did
I
it.
think I think we're good.
Perfect. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Are you a little stressed out?
Yeah. Well, um, today has been a day, and I didn't get back with a lot of time before the show.
Yeah.
I also, at the last minute, decided to not use my one laptop that's ready for Playdate development and instead use my other one so that I could like show some of the setup. But I should have done that like an hour ago.
That's fine.
It's fine.
I feel
How are you,
like
Steve?
I feel like we are adults, and we
Yeah,
don't need to pretend that we're going to be prepared.
thank you.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I show up unprepared every time we do this, so it's
Do
fine.
you feel like exhausted today?
I do.
Ha.
You figured that out, hey? It wasn't too much of a stretch.
No, I got it. What are you drinking?
Pretty much my I think it's my usual at this point.
Okay, me too.
A whiskey and seven, and yours is what is your usual?
Bullet rye on the rocks.
Yes. That sounds awful. But I'm glad that you like it. Yeah, I also had a heck of a day today, and it's been a week, more than just a day. It's this week is just like with school starting up and with our
Hmm.
children having sports that they do in the fall. We've had we have like three cross country meets this week, two volleyball practices, like seven cross country practices between the two of them.
That's a lot.
Open house, couple doctor appointments. It's just ridiculous. And today
Oh, that's
especially
fun.
was just kind of like, what else can I schedule today? Because I'll do it just to prove that it can be done.
Yeah.
So here we are.
And so here we are. So we're going to program some computers. I think you had some intention of like doing some follow up because you worked
Yeah,
on don't
I
wait.
did.
You worked on doing a good job.
What did you say the first time?
Don't do a good job. I don't know.
You worked on. You're doing a horrible job, and you should be embarrassed. Yeah. Do you want to just do that? Just like look at some PRs really quick. I don't think
Yeah,
we don't.
sure.
I don't think we have to spend a lot of time. Oh, before we do that, is there anything you want to say about use crank that you won't talk about as we get into the thing that we're going to build next?
No.
Is there more to it than that?
Just that a lot of times Playdate games like you don't have to use the crank to play the game. It's like a optional way to interact with the game, but
Sure.
they panic the people who make it kind of like want you to nudge users to use the crank.
Yeah,
A lot of times the nudge is like use crank. I just think that's funny.
that is good. I'm excited to see more of that.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and try to find. I created a new repository, John.
You
It
did.
is, yeah.
Why'd you
I'm
do
gonna go
that?
ahead and share my screen. Okay,
Yeah,
is that cool?
it's
Uh, uh,
extremely
uh,
cool.
it's the coolest. How do I do that? I hit the present button, and I'm gonna share a screen and an entire screen, and it's this one with my face on it. There's my GitHub page, whatever. I'm here because I want to go to a repository that I added, which is called Two Red Dads.
What? Oh,
It's
okay.
named after us. I named it after us. And the reason this exists is because I didn't want to put the notes for your project inside of my "You're Doing a Good Job" project. So,
Got it.
oops, I don't mean to look at the commit. I just wanted to look at the notes. Let's look at the notes. Okay,
Nice.
review Steve's async work on "You're Doing a Good Job."
You
I
are so
have.
prepared for this, by the way.
Thank you. Not like some chump who shows up rebooting his computer 5 minutes before
Why did I do
and
that?
doesn't even know how to
Yeah.
prepare. Okay, so one of the things if you remember the last time, I have it running here. If you remember, this image was taking a while to load each time. And so the whole point of the last stream was let's get to a place where this is not slow.
Pretty fast.
And we never got there, which is hilarious to me. But I did that on my own. And what I did with it is we basically are just like, we get an image and then we just store that image for an hour. So this PR that I opened here, we can take a look at the diff. I set the cache duration so this is the set background image. This is the function that gets called when the page loads to drop in a background image from what's its face, Unsplash. Previously, we were getting a new one every time. Now what we're doing is we store this cache duration, which is 1,000 milliseconds times 60 seconds times 60 minutes, which is 1 hour. And then I get now. And then I pull two things from local storage, not just the Unsplash image URL, now and expires at timestamp.
Yep.
And if I have an image and it's basically not expired, then I use that image. So this is how it gets reused for an hour.
And when you say use that image, I think what you're saying is you're going to reuse a URL that's going to be cached for an hour.
Yes, exactly. It's the same URL. The caching is handled by the browser because the browser downloaded it the first time.
And maybe the server, we're not totally sure.
And the server too. Yep.
Yeah.
We thought that there was some slowness there. And then if it is expired, then we go get a new one. And then add an hour to now, and then set those two properties. I had a little note here that my first attempt at this was to use a Windows set timeout. Like, oh, why don't I just like get it and set a timeout to clear it in an hour? And what I learned pretty quickly was that it would never fire because I will have left that page. So it's not running anymore.
Yeah, makes sense.
Any interesting things to point out or questions or anything to say about this one?
I think it's great.
All right, we're going to merge it.
Oh, wait. Can I see that one more time? I just thought
Yeah.
of something that I was going to say. 31. And can I see where you have now a little higher in the file? Don't you have now twice?
I do. I should just be using that.
Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter.
I'm going to make, nope. I'm going to add a comment that I'll fix this async.
Actually, you could use the suggestion API of GitHub pull requests.
I sure can. Can I? Oh, why don't I see it? There it is. It's right there. Now, plus cache duration. John says I'm dumb and should not create now twice. I'll clean that up. I could just commit this, but I just want to test it and make sure that there's not something dumb that I'm missing.
Smart. Smart.
So I'll take care of that async. And then let's look at the next one, the icon. One of the things that we had going on was the icon was always like this weird, it was like a red X and a green thing and a green check mark and something. It just didn't make sense. So
it was like from the example extension that we copy pasted so long ago.
Exactly. So I changed it. It's now a kissing face emoji. Emojis are my favorite way to make a quick favicon. Because you don't have to really like think about it. So I went and I grabbed this. I don't know where this is taking me. Anyways, I went to Emoji Island, which let's just search for this because I don't know where it took me. Oh, look at that. 295 USD. What is that about?
Where
Does this
are
cost
you?
money now? Did I happen to download something for free? Oh no, the vector file costs money. Anyways, I downloaded the ping for free. And then I pushed it up to this resize app icon.com to basically generate, you get to choose which size, make that a little bigger, which size icons you want. And the example we had 4 different sizes. So I made 4 different sizes of this
Oh, okay.
little
Yep.
kissy face. So
One thing I was a little confused about when I saw that was there's like a camera icon in the screenshot in the README. What what is that?
what is that? That's a good question. I don't actually know what that is. I think what that is saying is it is a. We can probably do this by going to my extensions.
Like manage extensions.
Manage extensions. I would have expected that to come up.
I
But
think
it
it's in the
didn't.
puzzle piece. Yeah.
Manage extensions.
Like
I
why
think
is
that
that
this
like
means
that?
it's a unpacked extension. So it's like
Oh,
we loaded it from source.
we're side loading it as opposed to getting it from the app store from a Chrome extension store.
Totally.
Got it. Makes sense.
Yep. So
Weird
I don't
icons.
know. What do you think of this icon?
I think it's perfect. I think the tone is perfect. The execution is flawless. This should be merged to main immediately.
That is done. And I'm going to delete that branch. Thank you for your confidence. Let's see. What else do I have here? Move the API key to a form.
We
If you
never loved
remember,
how we were doing our API key. It took us way too long to get a solution we didn't even like.
yep,
What you have
exactly.
here is what we should have done to begin with.
Yep. So now what it is our form, in addition to taking the praise markdown, it also takes an unsplash API key, which is kind of masked as a input type equals password, so you
Password,
can't just
yeah.
look at it. But it gets saved to local storage and then loaded from there. So it's not in source. It does require the user to create one. I'm the only person that's ever going to use this. Let's be real. But maybe in the future, if I decide to like push it up to the store or something.
Yeah.
This one, I don't think that there's anything really interesting to talk about here.
You're able to kill a file because we don't.
I was able to kill an env file, but we didn't have that checked in anyways. So we don't see it
Oh,
here in
right.
the diff.
So it could be removed from the git ignore, but whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, this looks great.
I don't know. It's another form field.
My only thought was you could move it after, like in terms of the order of the fields. It has this prominent place as being the first field on that form, but like you're probably like never going
You're
to
only
use
gonna
it
set
again.
it once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll add that as a comment. I value that feedback. There is one comment I left here, which is that there is Chrome storage.local.get does allow you to pass an array, so you can retrieve multiple keys at the same time, and then they come back all in the same object. So I just am destructuring both of them off of there.
Went with the then API, huh? No.
Oh yeah, I
wait
don't
for
think I
this
intended
guy.
to do that. Oh no, it's because it was here already.
Got it. You
We
just
did that
used what
before.
was- yeah.
This is all valuable feedback. So to do, use async await. Cool guy. And then what was the other thing that we said? We said to do.
Two thoughts. One is, do you want to reverse the order? And the other
Yep.
thought is like you could actually even like hide that thing under a what's it called? Details. You know, there's like that HTML. I think it's pretty standard now. You can use that details disclosure deal
Oh yeah. Yep.
because like it's config for lack of a better word.
You're talking about like an expandy thing.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yes.
I don't know how my version of that was any better. It wasn't. But you seem to catch on to it. Okay, or hide it behind a details expandy because this will be set once and forgotten.
Did you ever make any headway on like why can't we just have this be in the config like
Right. What I learned, what it looks like is when you see the help that says how to add configuration settings, it's all just adding a form to do it, like an entirely standalone page. So I did not find anything that just like injects it into those settings. I think that's weird.
I do too.
I think I just didn't find the right thing, but I eventually just kind of gave up on it. I was like, I don't really care.
Cool.
Okay, I'm gonna request some changes. Oh, can't request changes on their own pull request? That's baloney. John is a
I'm right here. Judge?
reviewer. Those aren't the right words.
Submit.
Okay, so I'll go back and I'll fix that stuff. And then hide praising initially. This is a funny
tell
one.
me more about this.
Yeah, so I don't know if you remember this, but I was like, if you notice, I pulled this up and nothing's here.
Yeah.
If we just give this time and come back. Oh, actually, let's just go back to one that's already been open. It's there now. So what I was kind of feeling about this was like, oh, if I'm like streaming or sharing my screen and I just like pull up a tab and I want to do something, I don't want to maybe I don't want somebody to read this stuff because it's mildly embarrassing for me to require this to be a happy person. So I thought about a lot of ways to do it, tried a couple things, eventually just settled on in 20 seconds it animates in. So it's hidden initially, 20 seconds later it shows up. So we can look at that PR. One thing there's a couple interesting things about it, I think. Let's see.
I have one suggestion for the interaction.
I haven't even gotten through the PR review yet.
I know, it's true. Alternate considered. Let's see.
I thought about requiring some kind of user action for the praise to appear. I chose the time delay option because I could do it without any JavaScript. If it makes me unhappy, maybe I'll switch to toggling the appearance based on some user action. So what I was thinking was like, oh, maybe I just have like a little like icon, and if I hover over it, it pops in or something like that. But as I started down that path, I couldn't figure out how to do it without JavaScript. And I was able to do this one with just CSS.
The simplicity of that is pretty compelling.
I add an animation with a fade in of 20 seconds, and then a keyframe that is basically, it's hidden for 95%, and then all of a sudden it's shown.
That's pretty neat.
The other thing to point out is I did add this backdrop filter property, which I had never heard of. And what I tried to do was apply it so that this whole window would be blurred, because I thought that would be nice. But it didn't have any effect on the text. It only had an effect on the background itself. So it kind of like has this little blur effect on whatever's behind the box, which I actually thought looked kind of neat. So I left it.
It looks great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Tell me more about what you think.
Just a click, like a click handler on document that.
Yeah. Yep.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. What you have here is great.
I like if it proves to be something that doesn't make me happy,
what I'm picturing you doing is like making a new tab and being like, well, now I want it to show up. I don't want to wait 20 seconds. And it would be nice to just like click real quick, see it, and then move on with what you were doing.
Yeah, for sure. That could easily happen.
Yeah, whatever.
I'll leave that one open. The last thing, or is there anything else you wanted to say about that?
No, tell me more about Chrome to Brave.
Yeah, so there was a story that came out last week about Chrome basically
shitting the bed on privacy.
Well, so it's like complicated. It feels complicated. The fact that every web page has 3,000 tracking cookies on it is garbage. And like it makes the internet a worse place. But now Chrome is like trying to do the same thing that they did with AMP in regards to speeding up content, or where they tried to speed up content by introducing this AMP thing. But it turns out everything flows through Google. So it's like, yeah, maybe on the whole it makes performance better. But privacy wise, are you more happy giving all of your browsing history to Google, which I'm doing anyways because I'm using Chrome. So what does it really matter? Or 300 different tracking cookies. I don't know. Anyways, I've been considering switching from Chrome to Brave, just saying fuck it, because while I am a total freeloader on the internet and I rarely pay for services, and I have accepted that because of that approach, I am opting into being the product on the internet and being tracked. It also it sucks to have all that stuff loading. It sucks to have Chrome loading one cookie that tracks everything. I don't know, whatever. It's not a cookie. Anyways, been considering switching to Brave, and so I thought, oh, we just built this damn thing. Am I gonna have to like rebuild it to work in Brave? And the answer is no. You don't have to.
That's cool.
So I'll just see if I can pull up Brave really quick. I have this is Brave. I have the extension loaded.
Oh shit.
It just works. It literally just works. You actually, when you add an extension into Brave, you go to the Chrome store. And download from there. And if you're doing the side loading thing that we're doing, it's like literally the same thing. You like manage extensions and just add it from a source location. And everything that works inside of Chrome also works inside of Brave because it's built on Chromium.
That is very cool.
Yeah, I thought that was nice. This is my example of like what is a shit experience due to tracking cookies is weather.com. Do you ever go there?
I try to avoid it because
it's a nightmare.
Very
but if you go in Brave, you get a bunch of things blocked and it comes up right away instead of taking 3 minutes to come up.
I noticed it was pretty snappy.
Anyways, I haven't fully committed to making that switch, but I think I'm leaning towards doing that.
Did you consider Safari? And if so, did you investigate the extension ecosystem over there?
I did not. I considered it in as far as I said I don't want to use Safari.
Okay.
Because my phone is it's a Android. It's a Google Pixel. Maybe Safari exists for Android. I have no idea, but Chrome definitely exists there, and Brave definitely exists there. So
you're saying you want to have the same browser on your phone as on your laptop? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so. I like the idea of synchronizing settings across different, like one profile that I use both on my device and on my laptop.
So we should move on. But a little part of me wants to ask you about the cognitive dissonance of like, you're a little uncomfortable about Chrome and the direction Google's taking in that browser. And yet you're okay
with the privacy,
with what they do with Android. Like, isn't it the same company with the same motivations and the same lack of respect for your privacy?
It certainly is the same company with the same probably lack of concern for my privacy. Yeah, I don't know. It's okay. But it doesn't bother me.
That's great. Cool. Let's talk about the Playdate.
You know what? I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and you can do stuff, and I'll make fun of you.
Yes.
How does that sound?
Hey, do you know what a Playdate is?
I do, but you should tell everyone else what a Playdate is.
It's like a little video game system.
Else. Pavlos knows what a Playdate is.
Excuse me, let me just check the live chat. Oh, no one's in there. Okay. There's a little video game system made by Panic.
It is.
They got a nice little logo down there. And it's one of its claims to fame is that it has a little crank wheel. So in games, you have access to a D-pad, an A and B button, but you also have access to this goofy crank. And every Playdate is a dev kit. Like it's just the same thing as what anyone uses to make games for this thing. And so I would like to make a game with you, and it's gonna be it's gonna be very dumb and very complicated, I hope.
That sounds lovely, and I would like to do that.
Questions from you at this point?
Yes. Does it come in colors other than yellow?
It does not.
That's too bad. Question 2 is these are questions about the Playdate itself. Obviously, you would figure that out. Is does it have a good form factor for gameplay? Like, does it feel good in your hands?
One very striking thing about the Playdate is that it has a e-ink display, basically,
Mm-hmm.
with no backlight.
Ooh.
So you have to play it in a place that has lighting so that
Or you will not see it.
you can't see it. So but actually I've like kind of love it in a way because
Mm-hmm.
it's e-ink, but it's super high res. Like its pixels per inch is insane. And the contrast is really great. And so it's like it's like it bucks your expectations in that it's not backlit, but if you can just kind of like hold it in such a way that you like don't have glare from your light source, but you do have a good amount of light on the display, it looks so good.
Mm-hmm. Is it hard to hold it in that way?
No.
No. Okay. Let's
Oh,
see.
and like it looks great outside. So like you can take the thing outside and play a video game outside on it. It looks awesome.
Yeah. So it looks like a Game Boy, right? A little bit.
It's got a Game Boy
That
vibe to it. Remember that first
that
Game Boy?
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
No color on the display. Um, so does it have the game DuckTales, which was the hands down best Game Boy game?
I never played that.
That is
I'm sorry.
unfortunate.
I'm sorry, Steve. I don't know that
So
reference.
so you can't tell me if they have it on the Playdate.
Yeah, I know that.
I'm sure that they don't. I'm sure it's not licensed there. I think that's all my questions for now. You may continue.
Now I need to make another drink real quick.
Oh, I was gonna say it looked like something happened there.
Yeah, more ice. Um, what was next on your agenda?
That's it. This is the you show now.
Okay.
Make it happen.
Let's present. Share screen, entire screen, screen one. Gotta move you.
Oh, before you really jump into the development experience, do you want to talk? Do you want to give like some hints about what you want to build?
Yes.
Some more hints.
Oh, so like another thing to talk about is that games don't have internet access.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Playdate has an internet connection, and that's how you install games. And that there's like a store and all that kind of stuff. But from a
That was a really satisfying bottle sound.
thank you. But like from a game developer point of view, that is not a part of your API.
Right.
And so there's a bit of like creativity that kind of constraint can bring out, and I kind of hope that we won't be annoyed by my ideas there, but instead we'll be inspired by. But I mean, what I'm trying to build is a game that it's so dumb. It just like listens to the crank and just increments some kind of like float of how much crank you've done, and then like you can submit
How
your
much crank
score.
have you done?
How much crank have you done? And then you can like submit your high score and see it compare against others on a leaderboard.
And advertise it.
I guess. I don't know. I'm a little wishy-washy on the and then what. But
We're just gonna count cranks.
but first we need to just be able to count crank.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
That sounds great.
Okay. So here I am at playdate.dev. The Playdate website will help you absolutely buy one of these things. They still have more orders than product, and so you're still having to pre-order. I ordered mine last March and got it maybe a month ago. So
do you mean March of 2022 or March of 2023?
2022.
Okay. Year and a half ago.
Year and a half ago. So that's the kind of delay they're on. But regardless, they they have pretty good documentation. So if you go to the dev part of their site, they have some stuff to kind of help you get started. I downloaded the Playdate SDK, and I downloaded Nova, which is their Panic also makes an editor, and so
Ooh.
Nova is their editor, and it integrates very nicely with the Playdate, and so I chose to do that.
Is that an editor that is used for things other than the Playdate?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just
It is. Okay.
like any kind of editor. In fact, I went to their extension store and found that they have like TypeScript and Ruby on Rails and all the kinds of prettier, like all the kinds of extensions that maybe you're familiar with on VS Code.
Mm-hmm.
Many of the most popular ones you're going to find on Nova as well.
Nice.
When I installed the SDK, I got a Playdate SDK folder instead of developer on my machine. And so I thought we would kind of like start there and talk about what we see. There's a simulator that ships with the SDK. I'll open that real quick. Yeah, so just a reminder that this is much faster than the actual hardware of a Playdate. And so you can kind of see that that's there. Okay, so that's our simulator. PDC is the compiler, and I forgot what the util is. There's like some... So okay. When you're developing for the Playdate, you can either use Lua or you can use C. And so if we follow this link for inside Playdate, that would talk to us about Lua. This is the one that talks to us about C. I am not up for working in C, so I'm going to steer us towards Lua.
And I think Lua is like a language that compiles down to C. Is that right?
I think that's why they chose it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So kind of like maybe just a nicer, more modern experience.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't choose something like TypeScript or something that has like...
Yeah, I was hoping that you were going to say that instead of Ruby.
I mean, I don't want to write TypeScript, but I'm aware of how the industry is going, and you're it would be a savvy choice to choose something like that. But maybe it was easier to do Lua. Who knows? Doesn't matter.
Right.
They didn't do that. So we'll go... I guess we should just like go to the docs.
Is Lua a language that existed before? Like this isn't something that Panic wrote, right? Like this is a language that has existed longer. Okay.
That's right. Yep. Absolutely. Okay, so the docs here, it's like a single page HTML file, and kind of you can scroll around here on the one side, and then you see all the content on the other side. They give you some information about what's meant.
Fantastic. I love that this is an ASCII diagram. Oh my God.
They just have like so much style to them. But anyway, so they give us a bunch of information about stuff. Let's see. Okay, so then like writing a game. So I thought maybe what we would start with is just like literally making a Hello World application and actually getting it on the simulator and then on device.
Yep.
Okay, so let's go to Nova and let's make... I was gonna say like I don't want to say new document. I want to say like new project.
Does add project go find one? Oh, is there a new project on the left there?
New project. There we go. Okay, so we'll call this to Red Deads. And we'll put
I think that the answer to this is probably no, but is there any way for you to make things bigger?
I think not.
Oh, that sucks.
And I'm sorry about that. Yeah, sure. We'll make it a Git repository. Sure. Okay, can I make this bigger? What can I do about that?
Is there something under view? Increase font size. It's there. But maybe it would increase the font size, but not the just not any of the corona.
Oh yeah.
So that it makes it so we can at least see what you're typing.
Right.
But it doesn't zoom in on like I can't read that tab, the tab name.
This untitled.html.
Yeah. So I'll just ask you to call those kinds of things out.
I can try to spend 30 seconds with my display settings on Mac OS.
If you would like to do that, you're welcome to do that, and I will keep time.
Okay, so what if I go to displays and I tell my LG Ultrafine advanced. Okay. And I tell it to be like this.
Oh, that is extremely readable.
Okay, let's do it then. Oh my god, it's like so weird for me. Okay, cool. Well, if that's legible, let's try it.
I think that's great. If you can survive that.
I want to like put it back to normal font size. I don't know, it was like that normal font size. Okay. Okay, so we have a new project. Can I like make a new file? Yeah, new file. So we need a main.lua.
Cool.
Tell us. Writing a game, blah, blah, blah. Structure a project. Yeah, main.lua. Okay, so we need a main.lua. I don't even know. Don't save. Okay, main.lua needs... I'm kind of cheating here a bit because I've done this before.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, blah, blah. There's like a single function you have to implement.
Like a top level main type of thing.
Yeah, what's it called? Playdate.update.
Oh.
See that glow on the font?
No.
Okay, that's all right. You don't have to.
Does it make you happy or not happy?
Oh, great. I love it. It looks so nice.
I'm just like dying on the inside because it's all dark themed.
You want me to change the theme?
No, I'm mostly just teasing.
Oh,
You don't have to change the theme for me.
No, I actually do have to.
But that doesn't change the
weird.
That's not how I would have expected that to happen.
That's weird. That's
you will
weird,
get
right?
dark code editor, and you will
editor
like it.
theme needs to also be bright.
Okay.
There we go. All right, look at that. Steve loves it.
I do.
Okay, how do we draw font? Okay, well, anyway, let's just see what happens. So we have a main
console.log.
Yeah, how about it?
Is there? Yeah. Okay. Print.
Okay. Save. Okay, now we can tell Nova that we want this to be a Playdate, like to have a build step.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to remember how to do this. It's like actions, something like that though. Project. Oh, tasks. That's what you want. Okay, so how do we add a task? It's in here. Yeah, tasks. Here we go. So in here we can say we want a custom task. Oh wait, you know why this is not working right? Because I didn't install the extensions. Because I was foolish and
this is what you were doing. You've been using a different environment to actually develop stuff.
That's right. Oops.
And you spent 5 minutes before we started the stream setting things up on this machine.
Yes. Move extensions. Here we go. So we want Playdate. I think this is probably similar to how you do it in VS Code. Okay, so we'll go back to project settings. You want to add a custom task. No, you want to delete this one. You want to add a task. A Playdate simulator.
Cool.
Now we're talking.
Yep.
I don't think we care about any of that thing, so we can just say done. Okay, cool. So let's check it out. We have this build and we have this run and we will have this stop. So I can just hit play, build succeeded, and
is there console on the bottom?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Where is it? Is it like this?
I can't annotate, can I? If you pull up that other... Oh, local terminal?
That's
nope.
Close.
That's a terminal. On the simulator,
right.
On the bottom, there's some icons down there. There's one of them that looks like it's a terminal with like a... Yep, that thing.
Yeah,
there
good
we
call.
go. Okay, so we get a whole bunch of hello worlds, which makes sense to me because when you named this function playdate.update, it made me think, is this like the update loop of the game?
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Okay. So this isn't a thing that runs once. This is a thing that runs like once every tick.
Yes. And so I think the way the documentation phrases it is like it's run as fast as it can, depending on like what kind of work you do. And so you want this loop to be very fast.
Yep. Okay. So you just printed Hello World a gajillion times is what just happened.
That's right.
And you are continuing to print it. I'm guessing that there's something preventing you from continuing to print it. Like some sort of like, I don't know, like it stopped at some point.
I don't know if that's true, but it doesn't matter. So I'm glad you reminded me about the way you can split screens in Nova, because I actually wanted to see what these files look like, because prior to my adding that task, there was no .nova folder here. I know that because I took it slow on my other machine, and like that's what that adds. So anyway, if we'd like to add that and get GDC get diff cached. Whoa, this is so weird. So yeah, we have this .nova configuration file. I guess I'm not actually sure what that is. Here's our simulator, and then here's our main.lua. So this is kind of setting up some of the files of our project. And so we could here current add p popo with
nailed it. Which p popowich. No, there's no C. Do you know where the Z key is on your keyboard? Are you familiar with that one? Have you ever?
You know what? No, I'm not doing it.
I don't know why you don't just say Steve.
Oh,
you don't even have.
There we go.
Oh, got it.
Wait, why can't I like? Oh, here it is.
Just call me Steve, and then it's easier.
And
I will say that's the one thing that always bothered me when people would use pair. They would always configure the names to be what the person's GitHub username is.
But you can
and
make
I'm like, then you have to remember what their GitHub username is, or like how to spell P Popowich. You can make it anything.
You know, we really should fix this pair bug, shouldn't we?
We should. Is that a now thing, or is that a top of the next stream thing?
Maybe if you don't mind, would you mind adding it to our notes for next time?
Yeah, let's do that next time.
Okay. I'm like embarrassed every time we record. Okay, anyway.
I love it.
Git amend. And then I come in here and just real quick, I fix that. And my color scheme is all fucked up because of
because you went light.
Okay.
You can go dark. I don't care. You don't have to do it for me.
I do need it to do it for you.
Thank you.
So the next thing I want to do is switch from printing to the console to printing to the screen. Yeah?
That sounds great.
Okay. So let's go back to our... Yeah?
Like, what even does that look like? I will get there. I just don't even know what that would look like. Because, like, you have to, like, display images? Are there built-in fonts that you can render?
Let's find
I don't
out.
get it.
So in section 6, you get the API reference. If you scroll through here, you'll find, is it under graphics?
Ooh, graphics. There's a whole graphics section. Cool. Text.
Fonts, drawing text. So here it is. Draw text, the text you want, the X and the Y, and then some optional arguments around the font family and whatever that is. So we can just do this.
It's the thickness of the lead plates.
That's right.
Isn't that where the name leading comes from?
Mm-hmm. And we need to do lets for X and Y. And are you supposed to put semicolons in Lua? I forget. Let's see what happens. What is it?
That seems like that first line blew up, right? No, it just does not like that. Build failed.
Who knows how to do
Step
this?
back. Creating variables.
Yeah. Local, not let.
Yeah, you're stuck in JavaScript world.
I just really love JavaScript.
I guess that could be Ruby too.
Yeah. What's happening? Hey, check it out. We have text
that's fun.
in our simulator, normal, bold, italic. And it's at 0, 0 because that's where we told it to put it. And so we could change this to say, hello world, very easily. Don't ask again. Stop. Boom. Hello world.
Boom. Fantastic. That's so cool. We're done.
Ship it. So I think the next thing I want to do, we have 12 minutes. So I was thinking maybe the next thing we would do is explore how you get crank information.
I think that sounds good. Do you want to throw a commit in there?
Yeah. So this is like actually show some text on screen. And then do pair amend. And then I do get amend. And then
to fix it.
Do that. And I feel bad about myself. Okay.
I think you just wiped my name out. I think you made it say co-authored by nobody. Oh no, I missed it.
It's just because my theme is
It's
so
the color
fucked up.
situation.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
So, right, crank information. So back in chapter 6, crank. Let's see how you read crank input. Okay, so you can query the crank status directly. Is crank docked?
Is crank docked? Fun.
Crank position. Get crank change. So I'm interested in this one, and I'm thinking to myself, does change in this context mean from one call of the update function to the next call of update function? Is that the change that's being returned there?
Right.
Yeah, since the last time
Like there have
function
to be boundaries around it.
It's called. Got it.
Oh, but that's interesting too. Just before you highlighted, or the playdate.cranked callback. That looks like another way.
Right. So maybe we'll see that in a different section of this doc. Okay, so so get crank change seems like it could be a solution for us. Get crank ticks. It returns a number of ticks the crank has turned through since the last time this function was called.
Sure. This is radians. but you can decide how many radians are in one circle.
Okay, so for example, say you have a movie player and you want your movie to advance 6 frames for every 1 revolution of the crank. So do you think that when they say revolution of the crank, they mean like going from
One full time around, yeah.
Got it.
But then if you think about a clock has 12 ticks
Okay.
on it. Like each revolution ticks 12 times.
Gotcha. So if we put 12
Or
in
60
here,
if you're looking at minutes.
so if we think about hours and a clock face, if we say get crank ticks with 12 instead of 6 in here, and you go through like 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, you'd get 3. You get 3 back basically because you went through 3 ticks between calls or something. That sound right? Whew. Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Blah, blah. Okay. Okay, so the sibling of querying crank
just a
sets
funny
directly
name.
is crank callbacks. Okay, so for playdate.cranks, change is the angle change in degrees. Okay. For playdate cranked, change is the angle change in degrees. Accelerator change. It's like since last called or what?
Yeah. Good question.
Sounds I don't care about.
It's fun that they exist, though.
It is. I mean, I think I just want to call get crank change.
So can I offer up something
Yeah,
that I
please.
think a way that I am thinking about the difference between these? Get crank change and get crank ticks are functions that you would call inside of your update function, but like you're approaching it from the perspective like the update function is like your like first class citizen. The other thing, the callback, is more like it's like something was initiated by the crank. Do this thing when it happens. And so I wonder, I guess I'm just thinking like there are probably situations where it's useful to know how much the person turned it, and other situations where it's useful to know when they turn it. Do you know what I mean?
So it's like when they turn it, then I want to dismiss the nudge to use the crank.
To use
because
crank. Yes.
Right, I'm gonna try.
I don't know if that was helpful or not.
Actually, I'm gonna try this one.
Okay.
Because I have this thought that maybe the counter that you're trying to get as high as you can in the game is like ticks.
Yeah, and you could almost even say there's 1 tick per revolution, right? Like,
yeah. What if we did that?
It's at the top.
And then we do 1. And then I think we need like a variable, like outside of our update loop. You know what I mean? So this is like ticks equals 0. And then this is going to give us like a local of ticks. And then we're like ticks plus equals, no, I'm shadowing. So this is like return the number of ticks. Oh, so this is like new ticks maybe?
Okay.
And then we can just draw it.
Sure.
Oh shit, how do you do string interp?
Ooh. Good question.
Okay, so this would be a Lua question, right?
Yep.
Oh man. How about Lua string interp?
Not many results because people usually finish that word instead of abbreviating it.
Well, I don't.
Why did it not want to take you to that page?
Yeah, I don't know.
Something up with their certificate?
Why can't I like? I want to like grab that string, but DuckDuckGo is just wanting to go.
What about the actual Lua.org?
Sorry, I didn't let you finish that. Like this one?
Okay.
There we go.
Nope, that was also not that is also not the Lua.org one. Oh, it's C style print formatting.
Do I really have to do that?
That's super annoying. Oh, no.
Luaulos?
Luau?
What? Okay, so then I put curlies in and I do ticks.
It had some autocomplete there. Field get crank ticks is not callable.
What?
A what? Why is that not called? Oh, was there something about having to import a library? Include a library?
Okay, well, maybe. Ah, good call.
It'd be so much more useful if they actually just had the line that says import core libs crank.
Yeah. Here's what's a copy paste.
Yeah. In order to use this, you must import this other thing. In order to do that, you need to know how to do imports.
Okay, it's clearly not this. What if it's like this?
Nope. I love this. Ooh.
Is it working?
Ticks.
Oh, boy.
It is. It's not interpolating. Bummer.
Okay, I hate everything. The fact that this has a typo
Luau
in the name of the programming language is not
it's really
giving me
encouraging.
confidence. We got like 2 minutes.
G sub.
Really? That can't be right, can it?
That seems like a horrible way to do it.
Oh my god. What?
Good gravy.
Okay, what's like another way we can approach this problem?
Can we do like the just doing like printf type statements with a %s?
Yeah, that was like the first one, wasn't it? What is happening?
I don't know. That's
Like,
that.
just-
Yeah, YOLO.
YOLO.
It doesn't actually tell you what the.
I'm so mad.
I don't know what we're looking at. There's like 800 different things of code, and I don't know which one is what language.
I don't want to use a hack. I just want to know how you do string interpolation in Lua. What if I just fucking put ticks here?
Love it.
0.
That seems right. Tick, 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 tick. Go all the way around.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Look,
it's
like...
writing over the top of it.
Yeah.
So, and now I see a second digit. So I think you got it right. I think you just need to like clear it.
Let's also do print ticks. Okay, I know. I'm trying. Oops.
There. Look at that. John.
Wahoo!
Wow.
Okay.
It took me a lot to grasp what you were doing from the start with like adding. And I just
Like
was,
this part.
yeah, that part. Like, it did not make sense to me, but it does make sense. And
Okay.
now that I see it, it's
So,
wild. I've never done game development, so I don't know anything about like working with update loops.
yeah.
I think
Okay.
that's like probably a different way of thinking than my
Yes.
brain is capable of.
And we're out of time, so we should stop now.
It's fun.
For next time, we got to figure out how to like tell the screen stop drawing that, start drawing this.
Okay, so we're going to clear the screen before rewriting tick counts. We're also going to figure out how the F do we do string interpolation.
Which should not be as hard as it was.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, this is great. We made a tiny thing. It's not a helpful thing.
And no one can take that away from us.
That's right. Cool. John, thanks for hanging out.
As always, thanks to our sponsors, Caramel M&Ms, Taste the Rainbow.
That's not a real thing. Nobody sponsors us. All right, I'm clicking this